Welcome back to The Short Coat, coming to you from the amazing and intense world of med school at the University of Iowa Carver College of Medicine. I'm Dave Etler. So here's something they don't put in the med school brochures. You guys. Somewhere between 3 and 5% of you listening might take a leave of absence during med school. Nobody plans for it. Nobody talks about it at orientation. No admin will tell you unbidden before you need it that it's a thing, but it happens. It's not always a bad thing. Sometimes hitting pause is exactly what you need to hit play again later. Here to help me talk about it are my esteemed colleagues, friends, friends. MD PhD student Riley Bean-Bush is here.
Hi, everyone.
M2 Jay Miller is here.
Howdy.
M2 Srishti Mather is here.
Present.
And M2 Megan Perry is back.
Hello, hello.
So glad to have you back, Megan.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah. So let's establish a baseline for our group here. Riley, you're obviously an outlier for this discussion. You have no business
That I am.
contributing to any baseline. As an MD PhD student for whom leave is baked in.
I literally took a leave of absence, about a 4-year leave of absence.
Yeah.
Which is odd that they call it such, but I think that is to the point, which is that leave of absence is not always bad.
We gotta call it something.
Yeah, we gotta call it something.
Yeah.
we gotta do something to these crazies. We gotta bring them down a peg.
Tell me, y'all, your thoughts on why people want to take a leave of absence outside of that. What are you guys' thoughts? Have you heard of people taking leaves? Are the people who were in your classes who have left?
Well, I am going to for a similar reason. I'm going to do an MPH.
Sweet.
So that still counts as a leave of absence. So that's something I'm planning on doing.
Okay.
So yeah, I feel like we could even start there. Like people will do it because they want to get another degree or they want to get a new experience. So like there's the path externship as well.
Yeah.
So if people are interested in pathology, they might do an extra year where they can get, more exposure to pathology, or in this case, Masters of Public Health.
Yep.
Yeah, we've had people take leaves to get Masters of Fine Arts degrees.
Yes. You can technically go to law school. There's an MD JD.
That's crazy.
Which
That's so
allegedly,
cool, but
apparently because
like-
nobody's taking us up on it. But
Yeah.
it is,
So if anyone
is-
wants to take us up on it, just know
MD
that-
MBA degrees.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Another reason. Yeah, so the U.S. 4-year graduation is only 81.7%. It's the lowest it's been. So it seems like more students are taking longer to complete their degrees. So this whole idea of the 4-year MD program, I mean, it's kind of the prototype, but that's about it. Lots of people don't do it. Really, the primary active driver for leave is academic issues, academic problems. So, for instance, you decide to, if you're prepping for step 1, it's not going well. And, you have to complete that prep before you go on to do your clerkships, I think. I don't know how it works these days.
Post-clerkships, but I guess
Post-clerkships.
clerkships nonetheless.
Yeah.
Advanced
And like move on
clerkships.
to step 2 also.
Yeah.
Yeah. So sometimes you're like, you know what? I gotta do this.
Yeah.
Because I'm having trouble. So you might take a leave. Sometimes leaves of absence are recommended by the school if there are, if you failed something, failed a course or failed a clerkship or a board exam or something like that. So that's kind of one of the less desirable reasons, I guess, from the point of view of the individual having to take the leave.
And maybe we think of leave more as like a pause. It's just a reestablishment. Like I think it is leave, but you're kind of pausing. You're just taking a moment to like either redo or reassess something.
Yeah.
In particular with the step exams, I think some people feel like, taking a leave feels so final. But I think taking a pause feels like, okay, I just need this extra bit of time to get things done.
We'll be here when you're done.
We'll be here when you're done.
Mental health crises, that's a real problem. 20.8% of med students meet the criteria for severe distress. 22% had either considered or taken a leave for personal well-being. Burnout, common reason for leaves of absence. And I think that so the reason why we wanted to talk about it was because a lot of people don't realize that leaves of absence are an option until they're in trouble, until they're already in it. And I said that no admin will tell you up front, like at orientation, like, hey, if you want to take a leave of absence, totally down with that, because we want you to, we want you to sort of consider the 4-year program as sort of the baseline.
One of the more profound things I feel like I remember hearing in the first year was that you fought all this way to get admitted to the school, and now you're here, and like the College of Medicine, their main goal is to get you to the finish line. And I thought that was really interesting, which is like, if that means you have to take a leave and come back, like the goal is to get people to achieve that goal. And if someone needs a little extra time to do a degree or to take time off, like it's not a bad thing. Like the people are there because they want you to get to the finish line. It's not competitive. It's not like, oh, look to your right, look to the left. One of you won't be here at the end of the day.
It's such an amazing trope.
I cannot believe that was
it a real thing?
Said?
I'm not even sure if it was a real thing.
No, but I was scared.
It was definitely in the first episode of Grey's Anatomy.
Yes,
and
absolutely.
Yes, and in another one of my favorite productions, Flatliners from the 90s, I think it was.
Incredible name.
Do you remember that?
No.
Remember that? Yeah, it was like, who was in it?
I'm old, but not that old.
Julia Roberts was in it. That guy from 24.
That guy from 24.
Dave, no one knows what you're talking about.
Okay.
Was it a medical drama?
Beginning,
was it a medical drama?
It was a medical drama, and it's about 4 medical students who decide they want to cheat death, and so they each take turns bringing down their body temperatures until they flatline, and then it's all about the horrible consequences.
Okay, that's insane.
That the supernatural. Blah blah blah, et cetera, happened to them.
Can I use a more contemporary example?
Yeah.
The Summer I Turned Pretty. Anyone watching season 3?
Oh, yes.
Okay. Season 3, about episode 1 or 2. This is not spoilers. Well, I don't think it is, but Conrad is in medical school.
Right.
And
yes. Okay. I was like, what is the connection?
I'm
but
so
I got
glad
there.
we're
I
getting
got
it.
there.
Thank you so
I got
much. Conrad is in medical school.
Yes.
He is on like a summer rotation.
I don't know what he's
maybe.
doing.
I couldn't
All
tell
I
you.
know is he
Don't know.
makes one little mistake and he is you're out.
You're out.
You're out of here.
You're
Get out of here, which does not happen
No.
on clinical clerkships. You don't just get kicked out.
No, yeah.
I feel like it had to have
There's
been like
one
some
reason you could get
internship-
kicked
I don't
out.
know.
I feel like
Confused by
there's
that
one
part.
reason you can get kicked out: murder.
Murder.
Sure,
And
but like he definitely doesn't
he
murder.
definitely
someone.
does not murder. And also, to get kicked out would also be to like, are you going to kick out the resident and the doctor who didn't double check his work?
Yeah.
I digress. He gets kicked out. Basically, one of you is not going to be here. Allegedly, the doctor says one of you med students is not going to be here. He was that student who was not going to be there.
No.
Yeah.
I thought that was a crazy trope. And I'm so glad I got to tell it on this public forum because that is not what med school is like. For anyone watching The Summer I Turned Pretty,
Yeah,
there's some wild stuff happening
I don't
in the
think
show.
anyone should use Conrad Fisher as an example of medicine.
So Conrad takes a leave of absence, kind of.
Yeah, I guess he does.
By the way, the med students and flatliners are all douchebags too, kind of a little bit.
Conrad is not a douchebag.
No. Okay.
That was so passionate.
He is not.
He's not. Stop.
I won't hear of it.
So glad I got to say that. Okay.
Yeah.
Can't speak for all med schools, but I like to believe we can. So
Yeah. Other reasons why leaves might happen?
wedding, baby, family reasons.
Life.
Wedding.
Well, maybe not wedding, but maybe
Maybe,
unless
I
you
don't
need to. I don't know. Depends on the wedding. Planning a wedding is stressful. Maybe you do need a leave of absence. I don't know.
Or just don't have a big stressful wedding.
I mean, big life events, anything. Because a lot of life happens when you're in medical school. Like, newsflash, like you are actually an adult when you're in medical school, whether or not you still feel like a student.
Yeah.
And so a lot of adult things happen in your 20s, in your 30s, and beyond whenever you're taking medical school.
Things like caregiving leave, dealing with somebody's acute illness or maybe a disability, physical conditions of your own.
Yeah.
Nobody likes to think about the fact that they might suddenly become disabled, but it definitely happens.
Right. We don't get an exception from life.
Yeah, there's nothing
Just
protecting
because
you from. Yeah,
we are still students.
Right.
Like that's not how anything ever works.
You mentioned professional development, and I guess according to the AAMC, there's been a steady growth in MD PhD students.
Is that true?
I don't know.
Love that.
That's what they said.
Love that for everyone out there.
Yeah.
I had a great time. So I always say I'll never convince someone to do it, but I do fully support someone doing it. Mostly because I don't think it is for everyone. But that's a different discussion.
Yeah.
So that's cool. I like that.
I also think just like in general, higher education is required to get a decent job. In the United States, like we have this general trend of you need to have more and more and more qualifications. So I can see that like getting an additional degree, getting a PhD or a JD or an MPH to like feed into that further could be reasons why that's increasing.
You're saying my Bachelor of Arts in Psychology wasn't enough?
That's perfect for this job.
That's perfect.
The degree
For this one
the
niche
only
job
degree
that
that
you
would
have
allow me to
acquired.
graduate in 4 years after I got done f***ing around.
As you should.
That I hear that quote from adults like kind of a lot. It's like, yeah, that's just the degree that I could do after I changed my major and realized I hated what I was doing, but I wanted to graduate on time.
Yeah.
So
My dad got a degree in general studies.
What the hell is that?
Means you took enough credits and a lot of different things. And they said, sir, you gotta.
That's what
You gotta
liberal arts
be done at
education
some
should be
point.
about.
And that's like, there are a couple programs. I don't think they do that anymore. I think they're going to need you to pick a path, but he did not. And here he is.
Hey man, I think general studies sounds fun.
Doesn't that sound fun?
Yeah.
The study
like
of,
me
it's
in
the study
actual
of
life.
everything.
Yeah.
That's just me in normal life.
Yeah.
Just dabbling.
Students often push through despite their struggles, and that sort of leads to emergency situations. And I don't know. I think I worry that people who are in, maybe not in crisis, but are approaching crisis, maybe wait too long to acknowledge the situation, and then that leads to a need to take a leave of absence rather than trying to figure out what they can do to prevent that from happening.
I'd be curious for all of you, second year, like how much, I mean, you're taking a leave of absence, you know that, but for you two, how would you feel, or how much do you feel like you need to get through as fast as possible? Like how much is that a driving factor for choosing a specialty or getting through medical school? Like how much is the time component lingering in your brain as something to be considered?
I think for me, timing is just like not necessarily like to get to residency or anything, but kind of just be done with med school is a big driving factor. And I think that's probably true for a lot of other students of, you know, we're already here for 4 years. Like, do I really want to add another? And so I think that's a really big decision to make when you're already like trying to commit, you know, so much of your life here. And I think for me too, a big part of that consideration is that my family is not in Iowa. My fiance is not in Iowa. Things like that. So kind of trying to like get through this stage to like figure out the next one is kind of a big deal of like, you know, where is that all going to like settle for me?
Well, it can feel like a bit of a limbo state. Like I said, you're an adult, but you're not yet adulting. And sometimes you have family and partners and everyone else that is not even living here. So that is totally fair.
Yeah. But I will say like, and again, it's not advertised. I didn't even know it was really a thing. Like definitely when I was a pre-med was not even like something I was thinking about.
And also when we're in the pre-med mindset, that's like go, 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 go,
We're just trying to get in. We're not trying to take it.
like you want to get in so you can finish a year earlier.
Yeah. And then I remember like before orientation first year, they like sent out the student handbook and I was like, let me just read through this. Maybe I was the only person that did that, but
no, every single
not.
person.
Oh,
reads
yeah.
it.
No,
But
everyone
in the eyes
reads
of
it,
the
yes.
admin,
Everyone
reads
reads
the
that.
handbook.
Yes.
And in the handbook is where I saw all of the like leave of absence. If you are having a baby, if you have life circumstances, if you need to take time, like, and I was like, I didn't even know this was a possibility.
Yeah, most schools don't really have leave of absence policies that are even that well defined.
Yeah. So I was like super appreciative of that. That like it's there. It's very structured the way that they do it. They're probably not like advertising it as the first thing because I could see them maybe wanting students to take advantage of other resources first. Like let's do counseling with the Medical Student Counseling Center. Let's use the wellness resources we have and then escalate to that. Like if that's truly, you know, what like needs to happen for that person's circumstances. But I don't know.
I just think it's a good idea to sort of monitor how you're experiencing medical school and life during medical school and sort of jump on things before they get to the point where you're forced, quote unquote, to take a leave. Because there are there are costs
Mm-hmm.
to taking a leave if it's not planned. There are financial concerns. There are, there's cultural pressure. There's I suppose there's stigma associated with it at some places. Hopefully not here. But we're going to talk about that sort of in the next portion of the show. But if you have something you want to say about today's show shortcoats, about something you want to hear about for another episode someday, a question you have, go to theshortcoat.com/tell us and send us a message. For now, that's our show. Until next time, I'm Dave Etler saying don't let the bastards get you down. Talk to you in whenever we talk to you next. Bye. Say bye, everybody. Oh,
Bye.
Bye.
Jesus Christ.